So welcome back to video 3. In this video I'm going to show you how to make your first activity using teacher.desmos.com. So we're going to go there, teacher.desmos.com, and when you first log in you're going to see this video, and this is the video that I asked you to see in video 1. So if you didn't look at that yet, please look at it now. It's only a minute. So now you're going to click here on create an account or sign in. Once you've created an account, obviously you sign in. So you can just follow the directions on how to do that. I prefer to sign in with Google just because then you can have one less password to memorize. All right, so once you log in, you see sort of some featured collections, which are so much fun to look at. Also, I like the most popular here. It tells you, so marbleslides is the most popular one. Land the Plains, always a popular one. Match My Line. A lot of these are done professionally, like Land the Plain. But some of them, like marbleslides, we're going to make a marblesslide ourselves today. So one thing that's really important that you do after you make your account is that you want to go here and pull down this menu and go to Desmos Labs. Okay, and then you need to click to make sure that marbleslides, geometry, and the computation layer are all enabled, and then you want to click on save if it's not already there. So let's go here to custom, and I asked you to look at a marblesslide and also a card sort. And then for your activity, I want you to make either a card sort or a marblesslide. So you're going to click here on new activity. And I decided you can pick any topic you want, any mathematical topic, and just think of one idea. So let's say you pick slopes of lines, okay? That's a big topic. So what sort of one idea, and this is the hardest part sometimes, do you want to get? So maybe you want to think parallel lines never meet. That's one idea. Or perpendicular lines always have the product of their slopes is -1, or some other sort of idea like that, where you want to just come up with one simple insight that you want your students to come up with. You don't want to take out a big chunk, or maybe matching graphs and their derivatives. That's just looking at the shape of the graph and the shape of the derivative. Or maybe you want to look at fractions. Maybe you want to match the fraction, as a number to a pi representation of it. Anything that you want to do like that. Just think of one idea. And so I'm going to do transformations. They're on my mind because of Math 141. So I'm going to click on transformations, and you'll notice that the screen looks a lot like PowerPoint. I can add a graph to a screen, or obviously a table. I can have students sketch. I can add media, which would be a picture or a video. I can add a note, which is when I just type something. I can get them to input something, which is the third screen here. So what I said is you just need to have a minimum of 3 screens. One would be an introduction. One would be either the card sort or the marblesslide. And then the third screen would be some type of a reflection. So the reflection can either be an input where you ask them to type something, or a choice, which is like a multiple choice or a select all, or there's more here. This is where we're going to put the card sort or the marbleslides. So for now, or they can order a list. So for now, I'm going to have I'd like my flash screen to be kind of flashy. So I'm going to type here, I don't want to tell them the name of my activity, just because for me I thought it might be fun to have them try to guess, because maybe they're middle schoolers or maybe high school. So I'm gonna say maybe slide 1 or introduction. How about that? We'll call this introduction. And then what I want to do is, instead of just typing something, I want to put in a picture, but the media only allows you to put in one picture. So what I did is I made a Word file that had 3 pictures on it and then put them all together. So Here's my image. I said, what do all of these have in common? So now you can click here on preview and see, oh, that's kind of cool. What do all those three things have in common? Well, so that you can get, I'm hoping that they'll say, oh, wow, I didn't know that's a transformer and that's a transformer. I knew that that's a transformer. So that's all we have so far. So now the next screen, I want to put in a card sort. So I was thinking, one of the big ideas that I want them to get out of this activity is the idea that transformations work regardless of what the function is. So, you know, if you have, for example, what we're going to do now is put in our card sort here. And you see that you can make a card. It can either be math or text, or you can put an image on the card, or you can put a graph on the card. So my idea is that we're going to match graphs to text, but you can match all kinds of things. So especially with this image idea or the text idea, for example, you might want to do matching French words with pictures just to practice vocabulary. Or you might want to, if you're, have a science idea, you could group pictures of animals by their species. Or if you want to do politics, you could, sort, or maybe even order. You could order the ideas of Republicans or Democrats or independents, and what topics or what causes that they, ascribe to. So let's take a look at, I'm going to make a graph here. And let's say that I'm going to click to add a graph, and I'm just going to call this h of x is going to be equal to x squared. So I click here and I make a little graph that's x squared, okay? And now I want them to come, I want to match that with this to be, oopsie, h of x. Now notice here I can click on this and change that to, let's just call it h of x for some reason, right? Now that makes it math type, so it makes it fancier. Okay, so we can delete that. So now I want them to match those two cards. Now you'll see there's going to be more of them. So now the next one I want to do is h of x plus 1. Okay, so h of x plus 1 would be x plus 1 quantity squared. So I'm going to just call this x plus 1 quantity squared. And you can see you enter it this way. And then I'm going to click on done. So now I need a card to match with that. And this is going to be h of x plus 1. All right, and then I'll do maybe one more. Let's say 2 times h of x. So I'm going to click here, and that would be 2x squared. Click done. And then I want to text for that. This would be 2 times h of x. Finally, I'm going to do h of 2x. Well, h of 2x would be 2x quantity squared, right? So I'm going to click on this, and I'm going to do 2x quantity squared. And the square, I'm hitting the shift 6, the little caret 6. So that's done. And then my math or text will be h of 2x. All right, now I can make an answer key if I want to. So we had h of x was this one here, and so you kind of line them up like that, right? So now this one, so these two are similar, right? So these are, this one of them is h of 2x and one of them is 2 times h of x. So h of 2x, so if I put in 1, I'm going to get 4x, right? So this one is h of 2x, whereas this one is 2 times h of x. So if I put in 1, I'll get 1 times 2, which is 2, and that goes there. So that hits with that one. So now we have this card set and this card set, and this one is going to be a transformation if it's a, oops, right? That makes sense, because if it's, it doesn't matter which order you put the cards in, but x plus 1 would move it to the left one. All right, so now I'm done. And now I have my first activity. So if we want to preview that, see, then this is what the students see, basically what we just did, and then they line them up like that. So that's this card done. So now I guess we can put a little directions here. Determine h of x and then determine, right? Determine h of x and then the other functions, and then match the other functions to their expressions, something like that. Finally, on the third one, I might want to ask a question. So my question, I'll put an input box here, and my text, you notice I can't, this is just an input box, so they can type something in and they can share it with their classmates or not. You can check or uncheck. I like it when they share them. But notice I can't type in the question, so you need a note here to type in the question. Reflection. And the question might be, if we change, now I want to say h of x, so I'm going to use this little dot again here, h of x, so that it represents, oops, h of x be equal to, I don't know, 2x plus 1, or, right? Suppose if we change x of x, h of x, let's say, for example, h of x equals 2x plus 1, will the answers change in your card sort? I guess what we want to say is if we change h of x and the associated graphs, right? Yeah. So that's not the greatest question in the world, but the point we're trying to get across is that h of x and h of x plus 1 has this, the transformation has the same effect regardless of whether the function is a parabola or a line or a sine graph or whatever. And then you can say, please explain. Now, not the world's greatest question, but you can assume that it's going to make sense to them because you've talked about it in class. So there you go. You're done with that. And now you can preview your whole activity and go back here to screen 1. What do all of these have in common? And then you can have them match their functions, and then reflection, and then maybe I should add something like, so what did all of those, you know, so what do all of the pictures in slide 1 have in common? And there you go. So now you click on next, and anyone with a link can view, so we'll share it that way. And then you're going to click on publish. Now, once you click on publish, you're going to create a class code. And you see this class code is what I want you to do is to copy this and then share it on our Blackboard, on the third Blackboard, just say so I'd have an entry, a thread called transformations, and I would say under the first entry, here's the class code for the transformations. All right, so that's the basic idea. Oh, I need to show you how to do a marble slide. All right, so what we want to do now is edit this. We're going to edit our activity. I forgot to put in a marble slide. So let's add another screen here. I'm going to put in a screen right here, and this time I'm going to go down here to marble slides. All right, now marble slide doesn't really necessarily have to do too much with transformations, but it does in a sense. So let's put x squared here. All right, and so we want to put a ball. Let's say we want to put the ball maybe over here at 5, 5. So you put 5, 5, just, and notice there's your ball. And now let's put stars. So let's assume we want them to make it, say, 1/5. Sorry, let's do like 1/5 x squared. There we go. So 1/5 x squared. We want to put them. Well, we want to put a couple of stars along here so that they know to make this 1/5. So let's put a star at about what's that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 2. Okay, we'll put a star at 4, 2. Oops, maybe 4, 3. Maybe 4, 4. There we go. 4, 4, and maybe 3, 3. Maybe 3, 2.5. There we go. And another one at maybe 2, 1.5. That looks good. All right, let's see if I launch them. Some of them work, some of them don't. Maybe let's make the ball a little bit higher, like maybe 5.5. Now, if I launch it, there we go. All right, so what you're gonna do is you hide this, right? So the idea is to find a value to modify. So we're gonna say is add an add a well, we call it a parameter. Add, how about a value for a in the expression ax squared. How about add a coefficient? Add a coefficient for the function to collect the stars. Or we could even put an a here, but nah, I don't want to do that. All right, and that's all you have to do to make a marble slide. Pretty cool. So if we preview this, see, it says add a coefficient for the function to collect the stars. So we'll just put, let's say we try 4. Uh-oh, that doesn't work. Well, I can see maybe I need a bigger number, like 5. When I do that, it gets even narrower. Maybe I need a different number. Maybe I need 1/4. Maybe that'll work. No, that didn't really work. All right, let's try 1/5. Aha, that looks good. Yay, I got success. And that's all there is to marble slides. And you can see that we kind of are transforming this by taking the original function and multiplying it by a parameter, basically, is what we're doing. So there you go. There is my activity. It's got 2 activities, a reflection, and an introduction. All right, good luck, and email me if you have any questions.